Let's continue the journey of Mary's order for her husband's birthday present of the summer bomber jacket. So the order's been placed, and now it's up to the store to drive the entire fulfillment experience. And so really what I want to be able to show you here is this order management screen. And this is really kind of like that home base for the store associate to really manage all the orders that are coming in that have to be fulfilled by the store. And clearly order management is that hub for all orders. And so really what I'm going to be able to do here is go ahead and click on that order that we had earlier, and we can start to see the order details. And this is super important for the associate to understand what are all the items that I have to pick and pack and get ready for this fulfillment order. And also too, I can start to see some new items that have been added here as a result of our implementation of Bringg on Salesforce. There's new custom objects, one being this fulfillment order. And we can start to kind of go into this fulfillment order component. And what's important here is this is the detail in terms of all the back end details around how this order was fulfilled. We selected store A because based off of where Mary lived, proximity of the store to her home, as well as the availability of this summer bomber jacket that order management helped us to define, we now can allocate this order to that store. And we can also see that, hey, we've got a same day delivery, which is our order delivery method. And right now our status is allocated. And I'm going to kind of show you some things here, more so for demonstration purposes. Most of this would be automated. And automation, what I'm talking about, is using triggers and workflows in Salesforce to kind of trigger these next stages of the process. So as that order comes in, we may automatically trigger to move from once that order is allocated to move that to pick pack. Some retailers like to give customers the choice to maybe make a change to that order. And so maybe we may not allocate this order for maybe 30 minutes to allow any kind of last minute changes and additions from the customer. Maybe those oops moments where they forget to order something. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and click on pick pack and move this fulfillment order to the next stage of the process. So now we're in this pick pack stage. And now that we're in this pick pack stage, we can now start to see elements of triggering the next stage of the process. And since this is same day delivery, our carrier right now is Bringg. And we can start to see the details associated with this shipment. And this is really where now we're able to kind of track this shipment throughout the entire process. And you start to see great information in terms of stages, in terms of how we track this. It's almost like that Domino's pizza tracker component to this, which I think is amazing. So right now we've got our orders at awaiting packing, and we're waiting for that store to kind of get Mary's order all ready together. But other statuses that we can track is ready for pickup, drivers on site to pick it up, drivers en route to the customer site, the item has been delivered. And we also have an exception status. So in those instances where maybe a delivery driver cancels that order for delivery, we can mark that as an exception, flag that, and be able to kind of reissue a delivery request and find a new driver and maybe even a new fleet to deliver that product as well. The other thing that's important about all this rich information too is that not only is this available to the store associate, but since all of this data is actually in Salesforce, we can actually infuse this data into the Service Cloud experience for the contact center agent. So when customers call about where is my order, they can start to see exact precise information in terms of exactly where that order is and be able to relay that back to the customer. And because all of this data is rich and available, we can even use bots to drive this and maybe do a bot experience via live chat on the site when the customer is asking about their order. So it's really about driving an exceptional experience from beginning to end, not only just from a commerce experience here as well. And so what we're going to do here is, as that order, the store has now packed Mary's order, it's all ready to go. I can either change that to ready for pickup here, or let me kind of show you another screen that we like to call the Kanban view in order management. And this is really kind of a great cockpit for that store associate to really kind of manage that experience. Again, we have all of this information here around the shipment and what's being waiting for packing. We can also see all the orders that have already been delivered from our store here as well, and any other orders that might be in the status along the way here. And so the store associate, once that order is now packed and ready for the delivery driver to come pick it up, we're just going to go ahead and move that right over to ready for pickup. And what's great about this is that that simple movement now triggers a workflow and an API call out to Bringg to start to understand and try and find that delivery provider that we want to use to actually pick up this process, this order. And what's kind of amazing about all of this is not only do we want to be able to provide a rich experience, but to do so, a retailer is going to need more than one delivery provider. A, to drive scalability, A, to not be single threaded into one delivery company, because not all delivery companies are going to have drivers available when my customer actually needs that item. So I need to kind of hedge my bets a little bit and be able to use the extensive network of delivery providers on the delivery hub to really provide this rich experience. And so now that we have this marked ready for pickup, we start to see some checkpoints over here. We now see that this order has now been accepted by a fleet. And if I refresh my screen one more time, I can now start to see that a driver has even been assigned to this order. So now we've got a driver who's now en route coming over to our site to pick up this order. And so that really kind of takes us through this fulfillment process. You've kind of seen it from beginning to end, from both an store associate perspective, but also to how we can start to kind of infuse this rich fulfillment experience into a service experience through the customer care team that's using Service Cloud.